very unusual in direct sales. Most companies, if you would go and talk with them, or you know, the distributors are like, I've been in a year, then I got out. I was in 2 years, then I got out. So it's very interesting. I like to do that. How many of you have kids still that are, you know, living at your home that you really have to care for? Oh, okay. Okay, I'm not talking about if you have, you know, like somebody in your 20s, you know, like I do. Take care of themselves.
Put your hand up.
You know, on that. Okay, I'm going to talk just for a second about this first point. This is what we get. This is the common question that we get asked. So I decided to finally write a training about the most frequently asked question that we get. And it's, how did you build your business successfully? That's what I get all the time. So I sat down and I thought, you know, really, what did we do? What are some really practical things that we did? And so that's where this training came from. Now, let me give you a disclaimer. You sit there and you do this. You don't know you do it, but this is what you do. Well, yeah, but of course it works for her because she's... And it's like birds fly, violins play, you know, and you say that in a dreamy little voice, you know, and I just laugh because, see, what you don't realize is that's in Premier World. But in the real world, which is where I happen to live and work, I am not I don't book a show because of my name. I don't book a show because of what I've done. I don't sponsor a person because of anything I've ever accomplished in Premier. I am at the same exact level you are. You know, I book shows because I work at it. I sponsor people because I talk to a ton of people. You know, people don't even know anything about what we have accomplished until they come to a rally. I mean, it doesn't make any difference. If I sit there and say, well, I've done this, now don't you want to get in under me? Well, what difference would that make? A new person has no clue about anything. So, before I start telling you what I did to build a business, you've got to clear out of your head that dreamy vision you have, because if you keep that, you won't listen to what I say because you'll go, yeah, but I can't do that because I'm Jane Doe. Well, that's not the truth. This, what I'm going to tell you, it works for everybody. I don't care how long you've been in. I don't care if you're shy. I don't care if you're outgoing. I don't care if you're old. I don't care if you're young. You know, it works. But here's the problem. You have to do it. You know what? And as much as the Wellers love you guys and care about you guys, and if they could do it for you, I bet they would, because they're that nice. But they can't. You've got to do it. You have to make a decision. I had a girl the other day, she said, well, do you start believing in me anymore? I said, no, I totally believe in you. You just quit believing in yourself. And until you believe in yourself, I can't believe enough for you. And you've got to understand that as people that are, I'm assuming you're all here because you want to grow a business, you know, or maybe you just wanted some food. I don't know. That works too because they feed you really good. It's like having a hug. Oh, it's mealtime again. You know. It's good for the guys though. It is good. So let me start this. And some of you have children at home. Now some of you that don't, please write this down because you know what? You're going to sponsor someone that does. And you need to know what to tell them. And if you don't take good notes, you're not going to know how to apply this to your people that are going to have some of these situations. The number one thing we did to build a business was we had good child care. Because if you don't, you cannot build a business. Now let me back up and take you back to where we were when we got in Premier. Since some of y'all may not know that. We were 28 years old. We had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. My dad was very ill. My mom had divorced my dad, and I had become a full guardian of my father. Okay? And I'm an only child. It was in the 80s. Texas was in a horrible recession, this worse than what the country is experiencing. And that's when we started Premier. We owed $750,000 plus interest is close to $2.2 million. And that was my life when I got into Premier. Okay, so you can't say you don't get my life. I've got all this stuff going on. I get it, okay? I get having stuff in your life, and we're going to address that later. But I realized early on to build a business, I had to have care for my children because I had to be able to leave the house some. So what I did is I planned when I was doing my shows. Now, we had a lot of debt, so I had to do a lot of shows. So I'm not saying you have to do this many shows, but you've still got to do the same principle of planning when you're going to work. So I knew I was holding shows on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. I wasn't going to do weekend shows. Now, some people are opposite. They do weekend shows and nothing during the week. It doesn't matter. But I knew Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday show nights. So we were active at a very awesome church with an awesome youth group. And I found some teenage girls that could drive that were awesome girls. They came over to my house. They played with the kids while I was there. I watched how they interacted. My boys were in love with them. I'm sure they probably even kissed them. You know, my boys kissed them. And, you know, I mean, it's just one of those things. And then I set them up just like a job. I am going to need you every Monday, every Tuesday, and every Thursday. Which one of you wants what day? Because you're going to know every Monday you are going to have a job. Every Tuesday you are going to have it. So I set that up. I wasn't always running around going, I've got a show next week. I've got to find a babysitter. You see, Randy was not an option because the first 18 months of my business, Randy was still working on keeping all of the homes we had sitting. He was a home builder in good shape. He would leave before the sun came up. He would get home after the sun came down. So he was not a reliable source for child care at that particular time. His hours were crazy. So I had that in control. And see, people with young children, you have got to plan ahead. When are you working? You got to have your child care. Now, another thing that I did with little ones is, you know, I don't know what it is about little kids, but they can be playing and having fun, but if you pick the phone up, they are right under your feet, just mommy, 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 mommy. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's like the magic phone. Yeah, it just draws inside. It's like a silent whistle for a dog or something. It just makes them come in. So I had two rules. Rule number one is you do not interrupt an adult while they're talking to another adult. And that was very important. Okay, manners do matter. And so I would say to them, when mommy's on the phone or mommy is talking to another grown-up, I want you to know something. You are very important. But I cannot be rude and I need to finish my sentence with this person. So if you need me, touch my leg. And I will know that you need me. I will finish my sentence, and then we will figure whatever out you need. And so they would come up and they would touch my leg. And it was so funny, my younger one would like touch my leg and go, yeah. You know, it's like, I know I can't interrupt her, but I'm going to just like push her leg so hard, you know. And I'm like, okay. So that was an unspoken thing that we kind of our secret code. Then I had a box of toys. At the dollar store, the back of their closet where they don't ever get to, you know, with toys. And I kept it in the top of the closet. Anytime I used the phone, the box of toys came down. And as long as I was on the phone, they could play. As soon as I hung up, the box went back to the closet. And I was super strict about it. They could not make me get that off if I wasn't using the phone. So my kids grew up going, please use the phone. Not, are you on the phone again? Now, to make that work though, I kept my word. When you say you're going to get off the phone, you get off the phone. You don't do this. Just a minute. You do not do that. You keep your word. So first when they're little, you're not going to get 45 minutes, okay? Don't even go there. You might get 5. So I would set the timer. I'd have everything ready. You know, I'd have the numbers there, and what I needed to say right there. I wasn't spending my time getting organized.